step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood so I am relentless.
This is a Keep Hammering Collective. What is this? What's your appearance for James Gideon Williams?
Is this Shit Talkers Weekly 7?
7. And Larry Connor Larry.
And Kramer and Haynes.
Oh, Kramer, yeah. I thought you were going to say Gideon, but
No.
I said Gideon. Yeah, so what's up? What's been going on, guys?
Trying to think.
We had a list of, I don't want to say critiques, but maybe, but we can also say it's all love.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
this is shit. So anything that we say cannot be used against us in a court of law, because there's a disclaimer to start this shit show. Oh, speaking of shit show, I saw a girl on Pisgah tonight, and she said, I was just listening to the part where you told James something about his butt plug. So I think that was on the Rivets skinning the bear. And I guess we left that in there. So Macy.
Interesting call.
Yeah. And John actually said, I can't believe you left that in there. And I'm like, I didn't leave anything in there. Macy left that in there. I may have said it.
Well, to be fair, in that segment, John did say this segment of Shit Talkers Weekly.
Oh, so maybe she was.
So the 10 minutes of whatever that is with all love too. Can't hold that.
Right. So that actually doesn't even count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we got a lot to catch up on. We haven't done one of these in a little bit. So we got to go all the way back to your politician days, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. That was miserable too. Yeah, I talked about this on Jocko's podcast, and I just said how it's hard to be positive when you see how the politics of our country work, and you just wonder. I mean, you want to believe it's good and productive, and everybody's working together, but then you see, and you're like, I'm not really sure. I just know. Yeah, I mean, you want to make a difference, right? As a citizen of the United States of America, if you can make a difference, you want to. You just hope that everybody else is on the same page. And sometimes I wonder.
You mean you wouldn't describe the U.S.'s politics as efficient and productive?
Well, it's not like Fox News, fair and balanced. Yeah, I don't even know how I describe it. I just, as I told Jocko, you go back there and it's for the, MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again, and FDA, and everybody's there. And, they're talking about getting all this shit out of our food, and, why America has 100 different ingredients and other countries have like 5, and they're all pertinent and healthy. Then you're like, well, apparently our food system is more interested in making money. So they'll put all this cheap filler shit in there, and also, so it makes cheaper food, but also might make you a little sick, and that's okay, or a little overweight, and that's okay too, because when you're sick and overweight, you're depressed. Then you go to the doctor and you get your antidepressants, and then you just start that chain of medication for your whole life, and who can be confident and fulfilled if don't want to be overweight, but they are. And so it's just like, do they care? Or are they saying, yeah, we want to do this too? And then they're like, fuck, when is Trump out of here?
Right.
Can we just go back to just making money and keeping people as consumers and just, on this train of prescription drugs and being unfulfilled and just buying stuff, comfort food and just watching TV? Or how much longer do we have to pretend we care? Right. So anyway, I hope that's not the case. But I don't know.
Yeah. You said overweight and depressed. I'm underweight and depressed. So what do I have?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So you got back from DC, quick little trip out there. And then.
But there was a lot of positive.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hear some positives.
There was some positive, a lot of great people. Everything everybody said was amazing. And I love Doug Collins. I love Tulsi Gabbard. I got to go see her at her office and visit and meet her team, security team, and those guys are complete badasses. Doug Collins signed a memorandum of understanding with Pete Hedgeth. So it's the Veterans Affairs, Doug's Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Pete is Secretary of Defense. So they hadn't signed like an agreement to work together ever, apparently. So that was cool. I was there for that, in the office for that. Yeah, I mean, Tim Kennedy was kind of my tour guide. He knows Washington, D.C. as well as anyone, it seemed like, or way more than me. The pomp and circumstance of getting in the White House, and like Tim is like, do you have a tie? And I'm like, no. Well, you're going to the White House. I'm like, yeah. You need a tie. He goes, I'll bring you a tie. So anyway, he looked out for me, but yeah, it was just amazing honor to go to the White House and just have that opportunity. So I don't, I'm just skeptical after all the shit you read and see and whatever, but everybody there, man, no reason to not believe that they care and they're trying to make a positive difference. I'm just like, I hope that my what negativity is wrong or my skepticism is wrong. But anyway, it was a huge honor. I'm very, why somebody like me got invited to the White House, I have no idea.
Hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Good advice. Yeah.
Yeah. So a positive and negative DC trip.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
And then got back from that and we had a decent turnaround and we headed to Canada.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We went for a short 5-day bear hunt that turned into 10 days. But I mean, very, very hard for a while, people see the videos and they're like, oh, talking about how easy it, or how many bear, I don't know if they probably say easy, but it's, and as because you were 10 days out there, but killing a bear, just like if you were going to go kill a deer, like a doe or spike or, whatever, it's like, yes, you'll see young bear, you'll see juvenile bear, you'll see sows, but those aren't what we're hunting. So it'd just be like going out and seeing does or spikes or young bucks, and you're like, well, I'm after a 200-inch buck. Oh, okay, well, that's different. That's a whole different game. That's how it is with bear hunting. They just don't have antlers. So everybody sees a bear, and they're just like, well, there's a bear, shoot that. And like, well, no, because that one's probably like 2 years old. I'm looking for a 20-year-old bear. Completely different deal. Those old boars might as well be ghosts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long time before we ever saw a shoot. Well, I mean, it took a while. And then you would see like the giant bear that I killed, the second bear, we saw him like 3 different times at the bait, which is the first time a hunter had ever seen him at the bait in 100 years. He's old. They'd had him on trail camera at night, but nobody had ever seen him at the bait in the day. So we had him come in, but having him come in with a rifle is one thing. I mean, you could have shot him.
Yeah.
You can use a rifle there, but of course I only bow hunt. So the angles, and those animals know, they're used to wherever the blind is. Normally it's a tree stand, but we were in a ground blind. But the point is, he would not show his side, or for sure, like completely broadside, but not even barely quartering. It was always facing, because he thought, there's the scent or movement, or just knows where hunters usually are. So the threat is always this direction. He's never not facing that direction unless it's to leave and it's like on a spin on a dime and leave.
Yep. So
we saw him 3 times, no kills. Give me your impression of that.
Well, I'll tell you, we got back on Wednesday, so we're almost a week back, and my lower back
I know
is still fused together.
Yeah.
I was doing weighted pull-ups last night, and I hung a bunch of extra weight off my waist, and I was just trying to like hang there and loosen my back up. Didn't work.
So you did weighted arm hangs. Did you actually do a pull-up? Because it's like,
yeah, I did.
You made it sound like you were just busting out pull-ups with 100 pounds hanging off your waist.
No, I was busting out weighted pull-ups, but then I added even more to try and really get it down. But
I know.
Yeah. It's anyways, it's hard because, people are like, oh, sitting for 14 hours, whatever. Like I play video games, but the thing is you got to sit there and you can't move. You can't make any sounds. Oh, it's draining.
It is.
I don't know why it's draining. You feel like a piece of shit for being drained by that. But it's
exhausting. My back was, I mean, it hurt so bad, but all I could think about was, okay, so any advantage I have in hunting is I can push pretty hard for a long time. I train every day. This is what I do. That is not an advantage when you're sitting in a stand in a ground blind waiting for a bear. So any advantage I have is gone. So now I'm like, the only advantage I have is I'm going to sit longer than anybody ever has or would. And that was all I could. I'm just going to be there. And the thing about it is I had that bear at 12 yards 3 times. He got out of there without an arrow in him. And I was just beside myself because I'm like thinking to myself, how can a bear that nobody's ever seen come in and out 3 times and me not get it killed? And I'm like, I already got multiple chances. I'm not getting any more chances with this bear, and I blew it. That was mentally, I didn't know if I was not on my game. I didn't know if I was too tired. I didn't know if I was like too fatigued from just sitting, and we were in the rain and sometimes we didn't have food because we didn't plan on sitting out all day. But I'm just like, we're just going to stay here because we can't kill it if we're not here. And one time we tried one other stand to give that stand, or he disappeared. That's what he bred the sow that he was with, apparently, because she was by herself, because she came in, he wasn't there. And he disappeared. And then so we thought, well, we'll sit at this other bait that had this other giant bear. And he walked by the camera at 7 o'clock at night when we weren't there. And that was like, really hard to take.
Yeah.
After we'd been there for 40 hours and 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, I remember sitting there, it's 5 p.m. and it's like, oh, we might as well sit here. We only got another 6 hours until dark.
Yeah, we're almost there. Yeah, I know. It was like, okay, now we're getting to, because in the afternoon, generally, there's not much going on. He came in twice in the afternoon because we were there, came in at 1:30 once and 2:30 once. And then it's like, well, if he could come in at any time maybe, but from 2:30 to 10, or he came in 9:30 one night when we were there. But so what is that? 7 hours. That's a long time. Yeah. But we're just like, no, that's just a small part of the day we're sitting. And it's like, well, because when you said 5, it's like, well, we're almost to money. I figured like prime time was like maybe after 8, but really he never wanted to come in until after 10.
Yeah.
But you're like, okay, we're only 3 hours from prime time. And so we're like, that felt like we're almost there. Might as well just stick it out. And then prime time was 3 more hours.
Yeah.
After we'd already been there 100 hours. So it's like, God, just exhausting. But I just figured if I didn't have my normal advantage, I had to turn something else into an advantage if there's any chance of me killing this bear. And so that's what it was.
Yeah, I think I had 2 highlights. One was, for people who don't know, you can't piss at the blind. So you got to pee in bottles.
Yeah. You can piss, but I don't think it helps.
Yeah, right.
It might not hurt. Some people might argue it might not hurt, but I'm like, why take chances?
So holding my bladder all day, and I'm trying to pee in this little water bottle.
Yeah.
It's coming out like a fire hydrant.
Well, those are made for males. I mean, that's usually, it is hard for
I forgot my funnel.
I don't know. So anyway, that's part of the challenge.
I'm pissing in this bottle and it's getting close to the top. I'm like, I have more pee than this bottle can hold.
Yeah.
Couldn't cut it off in time.
Over the hand. Yeah. That's all right. Except for the scent. Thanks. That's probably why we didn't kill that day. God.
Yeah. And then my second highlight, what was I going to say? There's something else good that happened.
I thought it was good when you we're going to go get close to that bear after I killed. I actually said this story on both podcasts because I said it to JB just because animal behavior, riding bulls. Right. I was just like, can they tell? Because we were talking about like, as you know, he's like icon, but is there a time where, because when he was young, he actually had no fear, hadn't been hurt, whatever. And then it's like when you start getting older, do you start to like be a little more tentative about, God, he never said this, but, or never said he did get tentative, but I was just wondering is, you know, cause I think how I was trying to relate it, but is like an older fighter who was a beast, they start aging and then they're just getting KO'd.
Right.
And it's like, when do you know when to quit? And so I was saying, would the bull know when you start feeling like, should I still be doing this? And he's like, yeah. I mean, so animals just have, and I was saying, you know, because we talk about horses where I, you know, used to ride horses a lot and they could obviously tell, everybody knows that. Yeah. But I told a story about you going up to that bear, and the bear, for whatever reason, it was different if I went to it as opposed to if you went to it. And I was like joking. I told Jocko this too, it was just kind of for fun, but because I was yelling, I'm like, something like, what did I say about you to the bear?
He knows you can't fake it.
Yeah, that's right. He was not moving.
You're going to get fucked up.
Yeah. Because it's like, you're trying to like, you wanted to, I don't think you're going to take pictures and get close, but like kind of also push him off the bait maybe a little bit. And I was just like, he was just like, no.
Yeah, you're yelling in the background. He knows you can't fake it.
And you were like,
and then you walked up behind me and he took off.
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy how, I don't know, animals are just so in tune. So I think that's the lesson, you know, whether it's a horse, elk, you know, I try to do that with elk too, just staying very calm, because I just think that they can just feel that freaking energy. If you're just like, I'm going to kill this thing, I think they can feel it.
Yeah.
So same thing with being, well, Caleb too. Do you remember that night?
Yeah.
Where he was, I mean, those bear were coming up to his side and I don't think he liked it. And they were just like, they could tell. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to push the limit here.
Yep. Yeah. My, my other highlight was, beaver diving.
Oh my God. Yeah. Boy, that's brutal. I mean, I got to hand it to you. I got to hand it to you for a couple things. You stuck it out for double the hunt. And it's like, you say, what choice did you have?
What am I going to put a little knapsack over my shoulder and walk home?
Got the stick with a bandana with all your, with a sandwich in there. I'm running away. I hate my dad.
I wish I was never born.
That's what I was expecting, maybe. But anyway, so you didn't do that, props. But also, just helping John, because it's so much work.
Yeah.
Oh my God, those, you know, John and Jenn, and I mean, Julia, they all work their asses off.
Yep.
I mean, Dawn helping out, but it is so much work baiting 50 or 60 baits. You know, filling up his oats is like the main thing, but 12 garbage cans full of oats, you know,
heavy,
heavy as shit. And you're, you know, hauling them around, putting back and forth into the buggy, dumping them into the barrels. But then also a part of it, a key part is, well, frosting is one part, but also the beavers, because they stink. And that scent can go probably 20 miles.
Yeah. And
bear, whatever their nose is, like 10 million times that of a human, whatever it is. But if it's so much more, if they're smelling that shit and it's like more intense than what we're smelling, props, because they will just rip right into it and have guts go over their face.
Guts and maggots. Yeah.
But aside from, so to get the beavers, so the beavers are skinned out. I don't think you can use beaver as bait with a hide on it, you know, the pelt on it. So these are just carcasses. And they've been like, what was it in?
It was on a pallet with
in garbage sacks.
Garbage sacks, black garbage sacks with a tarp over it.
In the sun. Just cooking. cooking and boiling with maggots.
All together.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. And so then they needed, well, it was like, okay, we need 8 beavers. So you put them in a 5-gallon bucket. So you take off the garbage sacks. There's a million maggots.
Yeah.
It smells like what you would imagine. I don't know how long they've been dead, but a while.
Well, before you even get to the garbage sack, you got to flip open this tarp, roll it back, and the underside of it's got guts and maggots on it too. So you're in there shoulder deep in this tarp. And these beavers are fucking slippery.
Yeah. And they're big.
Huge.
God. Yeah.
So you're just grabbing for anything you can feel and just tugging.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gagging every single time.
I know. I mean, you didn't puke.
I don't know how. I felt like it a couple times.
Remember when you had that little thing on your lip?
Yeah, you were like, you got something on your lip, you're going to wipe that off. And I was like, stop fucking with me.
Yeah, you did. It was like whatever that rotten beaver juice was. Yeah, that shit was intense.
Yeah.
But it used to be they loved beaver more than anything. But now they just go to that freaking Frosty.
I know.
They love that shit.
Don't blame them. It's pretty good.
No, we did eat it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a good time. You're getting a kick out of that. I think I'm good on that.
I was just
part.
impressed.
I think I don't need to do that again until next year.
Yeah, I was impressed. I mean, and then also just chipping in, doing the work because it is so much work. And so they notice when people help.
Man, they work their asses off.
Yeah, I'm so impressed.
It's crazy.
They've built that up, and it's like, it's not every place you can go and kill 8-foot black bear. I mean, I've never seen bear as big. I know I haven't, as big as the 2 that I killed.
Yeah.
I was with Luke Bryan one night there. He played in Edmonton, and we had one night to bear hunt. So we took him out to the Rivets, and a giant came in, and it looked like that was the biggest bear I'd ever seen at that time. And we didn't get it killed. But other than that, I don't know. The second one, no, I know I haven't. Because we were like, we walked up to it afterwards, and we're like, is this thing 9 foot? It looked.
Even John, who's around them all the time, was like, this is a 9-foot bear.
Yeah, it looked giant on the ground, and we could not move it hardly anywhere. I don't know what it weighed, but
had to be a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So you killed 2 bears. You say bear. Some people say bears. What's right?
Bear.
Yeah.
Bear is plural. It's like you don't say elks.
That's true.
Right. So it's similar.
Okay.
Do you say deers?
You killed 2 beasts.
Yeah. No. But yeah, bears, whatever. People say saw a lot of bears.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's fine.
Finally got it done. It all came together.
I don't know. It wasn't looking good. And I was saying, I'm going to put in a change of address and have my mail forwarded there. Cause I said, I'm not leaving. I've never been in position, cause I've always had a job, and I've always never had I don't have unlimited time because I was supposed to go do 100 podcasts for this book release, but I canceled all of them. And I'm like, I'm not leaving until, we're too deep into it. I'm like, and we had so much good footage. We're like, this story's, we love telling stories. It's the lore, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's like, and all I care about when I talk to somebody is like, you got a story for me? Tell me a story.
Right.
So we had the story, but we had no ending to the story. And I'm like, I'm so committed to this giant bear. I'm not leaving. So luckily, John and Jenn, I don't know if they love me or tolerate me, or maybe they hate me.
Or they're like me, didn't have a choice.
We can't get rid of me. But they said, okay, stay, Caleb Brewer and his group was coming in, which I'm so glad I got to meet those guys. Caleb is such a stud.
Yep.
And, he killed an awesome color-phased bear. But we just stayed for the whole next week, too. And I would still be there right now if we wouldn't have killed. SIG Sauer is leading the firearm outdoor industry in American innovation, ingenuity, and manufacturing. For over 250 years, SIG Sauer has evolved and thrived by blending American ingenuity, German engineering, and Swiss precision. SIG is synonymous with industry-leading quality and innovation, which has made it the brand of choice amongst the U.S. military, the global defense community, law enforcement, competitive shooters, hunters, and responsible citizens. That's why I've decided to partner with them for my personal protection and concealed carry of choice. I'm also actually working with them to develop some bow hunting friendly carry options because of the dramatic increase of predator attacks happening across the United States. SIG is actually offering something pretty unique in the industry. They're giving you guys a discount to help you gear up for hunting season. All optics and accessories are 10% off using code CAM, that's C-A-M, at sigsauer.com. That's code CAM for 10% off. Mud Water is a Healthy Habits brand best known for its popular caffeine alternative. It's got 4 functional mushrooms, and the purpose is to never leave you feeling jittery. Don't get me wrong, I love coffee and usually drink 5 to 6 cups a day, but Mud Water has helped me cut back a little bit, especially once afternoon hits. I still even throw a little Mud Water in with my coffee, and they have a really good coffee creamer with MCT oil. Each ingredient was added for a purpose. Cacao and chai for a hint of caffeine and hot chocolate-like flavor. Lion's mane for focus, and both chaga and reishi to support healthy immune system. Plus, it's Whole30 approved, 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. Mudwater donates monthly to support psychedelic research and has since day one. They believe the country is in a mental health epidemic and that psychedelic-assisted therapy is one of the most effective tools we have to treat mental health conditions. Mudwater is hooking up my show with a special offer. If you go to mudwater.com/CamHaines, you get a free frother and $20 off. That's mudwater.com/CamHaines for a free frother and $20 off. After all that time, all that, whatever it took, on the same day, we killed 2 8-footers.
I have no idea how that works out.
No, because in the morning, let me think. So we sat there the night before, right? Yeah. And he didn't come in because he'd been there in the afternoon. Did we sit there the night before?
I think we sat at the other one.
Did we? I thought we sat there. Did we go back?
Oh, maybe we did sit there.
Shit, I can't remember now. But anyway, we sat there and we saw a bear, but not like a 6.5 foot boar. That was the one that kind of charged me or whatever it was. That was kind of the best. He's a pretty good boar, but just not an 8-footer. So never really considered ever shooting. I wasn't going to shoot anything other than those giants. But so nothing. Then the next morning, let me think. So we got in there pretty dang early because he had been back in there. That's what it was.
Yep.
We thought he could have left and got on a sow, but he came back in there. So we're like, okay, let's go in the morning. We went pretty early, and he was on a sow, and they showed up like pretty soon.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It's like, I don't know. It probably took him. Did it take an hour for him to come in? We saw him over there for a while.
It might have been an hour by the time he came in.
And then these big bear, like I said, a big bear, you might not ever see them, but even if you do see them, they're not giving you a shot generally. Well, he came in following the sow, and I'm on the ground. You were in the tree. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, the giant, this is still a giant 8-footer, but the giant, I had him at 12 yards and never got an arrow off. So I'm like, okay, this is going to happen. So he comes in, he's perfect. Leg wasn't forward, but I'm like, I can still sneak it in there. So I go to draw back, and this is a little ground blind maybe about 12 yards away again, maybe 13 or 14. But I draw back, and my elbow hits this little tiny stick on the back of my ground blind. I had a background to break up my silhouette. Then it hit a little tiny stick and went like that. And he's right there. He looks over, turns, leaves. And I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, are you kidding? Then he goes back in the timber, and then I can't see him. I'm just like, I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do now if I cannot live with myself. I cannot have giants. And how am I off my game? What am I doing in crunch time? I never want to force a shot. I would hate to lose an animal like that, But I'm like, do I need to be more aggressive? I don't know what was happening, but my decision making, or they were just not giving me the opportunities. I haven't seen the film, but it's like, it didn't feel like I ever had a great chance. And so I'm just like sitting there, probably holding my hands, like my head like this. And I'm like, the sow is still there. She never left.
Nope.
So I'm like, okay, well, I don't think he wants to leave her, but they're so smart. He might just wait.
Right.
Pretty soon I see him again. I'm like, oh God, please, please, please. Saying a little prayer. He starts slowly coming in, but he's looking and he's tentative. Finally, he came in and didn't quite come all the way in, but I'm like, oh, I came to full draw. And then his leg went forward and I'm just like, eh. Or I don't know what noise. I made a noise because I'm like, this is not happening again. Made a noise. He stopped. Whack. Smoked him.
Yeah. And then I was in the tree stand, so I had to do the old fireman's pole to get down.
You got down fast because we did the counting coup, which, that's always super intense to show and people don't understand it. And I don't really even, I understand what it means to me, but if I have to explain it to somebody, I don't know if anybody else would get it.
Right.
But the point is, I'm there when the animal actually dies. I'm with it. Probably not the greatest decision making, like for a human. But point is, I was there. You got down there and was with me too. So
yeah, we made it happen. It was good.
Yeah.
And then got that bear out. Got him skinned, got him cleaned up.
And to be honest, I was pretty satisfied with the hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest bear I've ever killed. 8-foot bear, kept looking bigger and bigger, as we said. And it was just, we worked so hard and it paid off. And that's like the most beautiful hunt. It's like, I don't want it, I'm not going to pass up a first day kill.
Right.
But story, it's better when you suffer success.
Yeah.
So this one felt like, in its own way, yes, it's not in the mountains for 100 days in the snow, but it was in the rain and for a long time. So it felt like suffering, and then it paid off. So I was like, you know what? This story has an ending, and it's beautiful, and I'm happy I made a good shot. The bear died in about, 10 seconds.
It was quick.
Fast.
Yeah.
So we went back, we did the podcast, we skinned him out. We're going to do a full body mount. Everything was great. And we're just like, I felt like pressure was off because it's just like we did what we set out to do. And then, we weren't going to fly out to the next day. So what are we supposed to do? Got to go hunting.
Yeah.
We got to go hunting. So after all that, which is, it's a lot of work. Taking care of a bear and doing everything and getting the meat off. Jen boned it out while we went and got on the bait. But, and it was a lot of meat, like 100 pounds of meat. And, so we got on the bait, and I think I was telling you, I said, after all this, we're probably going to sit there and this bear is probably just going to walk in and I'm going to smoke him. After all the drama, all the 12 yards, no shot, all the me being almost suicidal. And so it's a crazy story, but this sow had 2 mangy looking cubs. And I feel sorry for the cubs because it's a rough life out there. But especially when their mom kicks them out. So this sow we noticed on the Tacticam camera, Tacticam? Yeah. Which is such an incredible tool because it's cellular, sends your phone the pictures. But we noticed that these cubs were coming in it's like yearlings, but coming in by themselves. So that means the mom had probably come into heat and kicked them out because she's going to get bred. So we're like, well, this is where the giant was. If she's in heat, he's probably going to be with her.
Right.
So we're sitting there, and sure as anything, just like the Tacticam showed us, here comes the one like yearling cub just by himself. So I don't know where his brother was or whatever. I don't know if he already got killed, but it's a rough life out there for those young bear.
Tough day.
The other little bear was up the tree for hours hiding out, just scared shitless. But this guy, not his brother, but some other yearling. So he's in by himself, and he's not as scared as that other little one. He's a little more confident, probably just a little bit older. And pretty soon this sow comes in, and he takes off up the tree. And I look, and we're separated because my goal was to be off on the side because that giant bear kept looking to where we were sitting. So I'm like, I'm going to have my own little blind broadside. He's going to look to where you guys are. I'm going to smoke him broadside. So it seemed like a good plan, but we were separated, and this bear takes off up the tree. I see the sow, and I'm like, that's your mom. Why are you running from your mom? Who the day before he was just with every second of the day. Now she'd kicked him loose and I look back, and there's that giant boar. I saw his right ear was smaller than the left ear, and something happened to it. Got torn up in a fight or something. And I see him back there, and I just look over at you, and just like I had said before we went in there, I just kind of pointed back there, and I was like smiling, going, I cannot believe this is happening. And he started to break out. I came to full draw. Right when he stepped out, whack. That was it.
And then we got in there, it was right around 7. Mm-hmm. And it was probably another hour and a half
8,
too.
Yeah. He hadn't even been in before it started to get pretty dark, or not dark because it didn't get dark till almost 11, but low. The sun sets really slow up there. But on this night, as fate would have it, he didn't even hardly hesitate, came in.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it was 12 yards where I was on that side. It might've been 10 yards. Anyway, again, I wasn't risking it. His leg was a little back, and I think it caused me to worry about that leg bone. So I went like 2 inches back from it and smoked him. And then I get up, and then you don't know what I'm doing, because how would you know? Because I'm 1, unpredictable, 2, crazy, 3, bipolar. So you start busting through all this shit, making noise. You thought we're going to go get the counting coup. I was a little, in my head, you didn't know this, but I was a little unsure because I had to sneak back. So I'm like, am I going to run up on this 9-foot bear and have him not quite be dead? And plus I didn't want to push him.
Yeah.
I don't want, if you don't get their lungs, dude. I didn't think I was out, but I didn't know it happened so fast. And so you start busting out, and I'm just like, just like a complete, lunatic. And so you're like, stop. And then I went back, got my arrow. Of course it was covered.
Yep.
Told you, I had reservations about the shot, and I think I smoked him. And we're kind of and then we heard the death moan, and we're like, okay. And I just could not. It still seems surreal.
Yeah.
After all that, after that long, and to have it just happen for the second time in the same day.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before we went and sat too. Is like, this is when it happens.
When you're not expecting it, you're not desperate for it. It just happens.
Yeah.
And again,
crazy.
I don't know if maybe my energy was different. Maybe from being desperate for so long, I don't know. These animals it is crazy how sensitive they are. That's how they stay alive for 20 years. So maybe I was sabotaging because I'm so close to the bear. It's like I try to stay calm, but maybe there's something about me that night, because I'd already killed that giant, was more relaxed, and they weren't picking up on me. I don't know.
Yeah, had to be something. It's it always seems like it. Like, I just don't understand how it works out like that, but it does. What are the odds with how long we sat and that final day? It all happens in one day. It's pretty incredible. But
yeah, it was the most. I don't think I'll ever have a day of bear hunting. I've never killed an 8-foot bear, and I killed 2 in the same day. And I've been doing this for a long, long time, and killed a lot of bear. So I don't know. It just seems, again, surreal. Yeah. I'm just going to be thankful forever. So much love for John and Jenn and their entire family and their operation, what they've built, and to be part of kind of their, I don't know, just their story, and to see where they're at now. it's, it fills my heart. And then to be able to get up there and just experience I love bear hunting. Roy and I started bear hunting back in in 89, we were baiting in Oregon before it got outlawed. And we used to, when we should have been working, we were over at the coast bear hunting. And we've been doing this, for decades. And this was the most incredible hunt I've ever had. So, again, I'm always thinking about, Roy and what he would have thought about those bear and just like all the memories we have. And it's just like, I don't know. It's pretty special.
Yeah, definitely. Then after bear hunting, came home for a day, and then you left for good old Auburn.
Yeah, I didn't want to say on the bear hunting thing that I brought home 100 pounds of meat. I can't remember how big that grizzly cooler was. I told somebody I was going to check because I posted about it. But
had to be like 35
quarts, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty big.
It was full.
Yeah.
Full of
and
meat.
then some, because
I had to, I guess, so I had, the cooler was 130 pounds. So the cooler was 30 pounds, 100 pounds of meat. And apparently the limit is 99 pounds.
Yeah.
So I had to take meat out of the cooler, wrap it in a plastic bag, throw away some clothes. So Sitka's, you can send me more stuff because I had to throw away stuff to make room for this meat. But it was frozen. So we got home, of course, in a few hours, and it, meat was still good. But point is, I brought home 100. John and Jenn are bringing me the other bear. But yeah, so I'm going to have at least 200 pounds of bear meat, which here's the thing. If I kill an animal, the meat's coming home, I'm eating it, I'm distributing it, I'm doing something with the meat. I never just kill and don't take the meat. If I kill it, I'm getting the meat. So people want to say, oh, you're a trophy hunter. I will just say, shut the fuck up. No, I eat I want a trophy and I eat the meat. Pretty straightforward. But anyway.
They'd rather you shoot that cub. It's like, what the f you want?
Yeah, it's not a trophy. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
But point is, so we brought home all that bear meat, a long day travel home, or I don't know if it was a long day, I can't remember now. But had to go back to Auburn for the movie.
Yeah.
Dream the movie. We had some cast changes, so we had to reshoot some stuff. And that part, the people, the work, oh my God. I'd rather run 200 miles for sure than shoot the same scene for hours. And yes, they say it looks great, but we did that parking lot scene again.
Oh yeah.
Man. And remember the dad?
Yep.
He was even more fired up this time.
Same guy though?
Yeah, same guy, same dad and mom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, he's in like a new, he's in that, is it Odysseus? Odyssey? Or
the Odyssey is coming out.
Yeah, that's with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
So he's in that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he's like Matt Damon's right hand. But anyway, that's like the director's, God, somebody huge. Like the biggest name in Hollywood.
It's
Yeah,
it's that guy.
Anyway, he's in that, so he's gonna be filming that for the next month. But he just said the locations have been crazy. And like they've been filming, and this kind of gave me context. But he wants them the longest days because he wants them so miserable that they don't even have to act. They're just miserable, and that's because it's like some big journey trip, right? And so that's just acting, I guess. But we started shooting that one scene in the parking lot at about 9 and finished at about 3 a.m. And I was exhausted.
That's brutal.
Yeah,
Did you get it done?
Yeah.
Scene done? That's
did
good.
it a million times, all different angles. And also they're shooting on film.
Oh, they got film this time.
Got film, but the film runs out and they got to put new film in like every 5 minutes. And to put the film in, dude, it's like, remember in those old projectors in school where you have to like thread it through and you'd be like, I think it's like that. I don't know, but we'd be right in the middle of a scene. And then, and you remember Native American?
Yeah.
Just getting ready to go off on me. cut. And he's just like, that happened like 5 times. He was just getting ready to be pissed at Browning, like, what is anybody working? Like he's just like mid first word cut. So I felt bad for him, but he's such a good actor. Everybody's so good. I'm the only one who doesn't know what the they're doing. So I'm honored to be involved in such a good story. And then having Sheckler there as Deputy Ellis, it's cool because he's such a nice guy.
How'd he do?
He's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he was in like Skateboarding Monkey movie, like back in the 90s or something like, I can't remember what it was, but he's like in a couple silly movies, but this is his first. But he did that scene where him and Jamie at the ticket booth and just killed it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. And then what did JB, what was his role? I saw him in the motorcycle get up.
He was a cowboy that smoked. And it was like tough. So he's basically himself.
No acting.
I felt bad because that night where we filmed till 3, they needed to do one last scene. And it was like the last 15 minutes of, they were there all night and then had like 15 minutes. They did a couple takes tight and wide of Deputy Ellis coming up and walking by JB saying like, he's like flashlight looking for Jamie and like saying something and then kept going and that was it.
Damn.
And that was the last one of the night. So, and then they got up and they did some baptism in the river in the morning. And I'm like, man, that sounds amazing, but what time? So I didn't make that one. I had to get miles in because I got a race this weekend. So, and haven't run since Cocodona.
Oh, your last man standing, right?
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Yeah. I'm sore from running yesterday. So I'm really in good shape.
Good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it on my list. Do we have what are we calling it? A phallus fact.
No, but I got Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
The Odyssey director.
That's it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's going to be iconic. But anyway, he's got a role in that movie.
That's cool.
The dad.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So he had this big kind of gray beard.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. But he brings it.
Yeah.
And then, the mom, I think.
Jen.
Jenna?
Yeah, maybe it's Jenna.
Yeah, she is. I don't know. I told her, I'm like, I really wish I could act like you guys. I really wish I knew what I was doing because they are so good. And I'm just like, sometimes, I mean, not so much this time, but on the other time, it's like we're getting ready to do this big scene and I'm supposed to be like walking and like saying my lines. And I'm like, I have no idea what my lines are. And everybody's like, okay, ready? What set action? Well, I don't know what the and I'm just like,
action, line.
I know. I'm just like, I just really wish I was good at it. That's all.
Who's playing the detective?
Don't know. No, don't have that yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
The little girl was good?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Good.
Yeah, she did great.
So we had a couple switch outs last time.
No, this Jamie is so good. She's
awesome.
So cute. Perfect character. No God dang it. We haven't done they're still figuring out the detective, so we didn't do those scenes.
Oh, okay.
That's when I have to go back for 4 days in July.
Oh. Hopefully they need JB there again. I'd love to take that guy's portrait.
I know.
Yeah.
God, that's the only thing. And even Ryan's portrait,
I know,
dude.
yeah.
But he's going to be here.
Yeah.
He said he goes, you tell me when I'll get on a plane. He goes, I'd be honored to be there.
Awesome.
So he wants to come shoot the bow, do
That'd be
everything.
sweet.
So, I mean, he's got both those guys have these looks that a portrait is just, that's all. I just love, your portraits are so good. Mm-hmm. And when it's somebody who's like icons.
Yeah. Yeah. Those two guys are definitely on my list for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
If JB gets in here, he's gonna have to spark a cigarette.
Oh, he was smoking the whole time.
That's
He
awesome.
had darts going the whole time. But also his eyes are freaking, yeah, it's like super blue.
Yeah.
He's like he's just an intense person.
Yeah.
But-
What I like about him is I feel like he wears his story on his face, you know?
He wears a story on his face because a bull stomped on his face. And he's got a big scar. Like he showed me pictures of his stuff. So whenever we have him on, I'm going to have his pictures of all his shit.
Oh, yeah.
All his his chin is just split open. One time has this huge hematoma.
He's so tough.
He's broke everything.
Yeah.
A million times. And one time stomped on his liver and it didn't rupture. It ruptured inside. So it kept everything in. And he's just like, went home and he's just like, oh, I think, whatever. It's like, then it started to swell up kind of. Then he's like, man, maybe I need to go to the doctor. And they said, when did this happen? And he said, like, I had a 4-hour drive home and then it was like last night. And they said, if that would have like cut the liver, like the outside of it, he would have been dead and fast, but it ruptured inside. So it was like, I think like the liver was getting big.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean,
That's crazy.
So many intent, but he's got the best stories.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get him on. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, I think that's, I had one constituent issue. This is a new one, a new diss on me. I haven't heard. They said I have a bird chest.
Who says this?
Some random guy on one of Nate's videos where I was in it a while ago, but he said Gideon has a bird chest.
All right, guys. Thank you. Shit Talkers Weekly. All love. Nothing can be used against us in court of law.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Keep hammering.
Someone to blame, they sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the change, the few endure.